So, okay, let's go to an enraged bull. We're going to change energies, yeah. So 2 men were walking through a field one day when they spotted an enraged bull. And instantly, they darted toward the nearest fence. And the storming bull followed in hot pursuit. And it was soon apparent they weren't going to make it. And so terrified, the one shouted to the other, "Put up a prayer, John. We're in for it." And John answered, "I can't. I've never made a public prayer in my life." "But you must," implored the companion. "The bull is catching up to us." "All right," panted John. "I'll say the only prayer I know, the one that my father used to repeat at the table. O Lord, for what we are about to receive, make us truly thankful." Oh dear, here we are. My Kleenex. Oh, sorry. Dadgum you, Jim. All right, so here we are. We are in our 3rd week of exploring the book, How to Pray Without Talking to God. And if you're following us in this unfolding, because the reason that I wanted to bring it to you, well, I want to bring it to you, period, because it's part of my passion of why I'm in ministry, is that we get our true nature, and we live from it. We claim it, and we know it, and we express it. And and we do that through prayer. Prayer is changing our minds. Remember, we're not praying to a God outside of ourselves to change his mind or even her mind. Linda Martell of Whitsett says in this book that the reason that we pray is to assert and to know our divine identity. That's why we pray. And that we know the divine identity of our world as well. Because guess what, folks? If we're divine, that means everything, that if we go deep enough into any circumstance or anything, we're going to find that same divine energy and flow. And so that's what she says, is that that's why we pray, to assert that and to know that. And also, I wanted to bring it to you because our prayer chaplains, we're in the midst of a prayer chaplain training. 6 glorious humans have said yes to being prayer chaplains here at Unity of Gaithersburg. And so we're in the process of being in that training process. And so they're learning this, that this book is the foundation of what we're learning. So when they sit across from you and they pray with you, they're going to hold this knowing with you. So I want you to know that's where they're coming from when they sit across from you. And they're going to listen, and they're going to hold sacred space, and they're going to hear your story, but they're not going to engage in your story. Not that they don't care about you. They love you. They love you so much they're going to hold you as greater than your story. They're going to hold you in your knowing of your divine identity, because that is greater than anything. Yeah, isn't that going to be great? Yeah. So I wanted to continue this conversation this morning about prayer, because prayer seems to be something on our spiritual journey that it's like, well, how do I pray? I don't really understand how to pray. And how does Unity pray? And so last week we talked about affirmative prayer, that Unity prays affirmatively, meaning we pray from our knowing. And we pray to change our thinking. Yeah, because Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, said that all thoughts are formative, but they're not all creative. And let me explain what that means. All thoughts and words have the power to form something. But thank goodness they don't create everything, right? Yeah, they don't create everything. But the things that we hold with feeling and with knowing, like those beliefs that we hold, that many of us are conscious of, but many of us are unconscious about, those are the ones that are creative. And so when we pray, Linda Martellowitz, it says to us to pay attention to what we're saying, because underneath everything that we say is a belief. And so when we come forth and we're wanting to have a different experience of life and we're telling our story about it, what could be really valuable for us is to pay attention, to bring to our awareness what we're saying, because there's something underneath it that's creating it. Do you see that? A belief. And I just wanted to share a little bit about my story. I think I've shared this with you, that my parents divorced when I was really little, and my mom raised my sister and me. And let me tell you, this was in the 60s, and my mom was a secretary, just doing the best she could. And she would be mortified if I shared this with you. But there were times that we couldn't afford heat. And so the only room in the house that was warm would be the kitchen, because she turned the oven on. And I can remember thinking it was so great that we had lived on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for 3 weeks. And then my grandparents found out about it, and they were like, oh. And so from that point forward, every time I walked in their house, here's pie, here's fruit, here's, Southern grandma. Yeah. But so I share that with you because there were some beliefs that were expressing in my family. Life was hard. There wasn't enough. There wasn't enough money. There wasn't enough time because my mother was working all the time. Those kinds of things. We weren't enough because we couldn't do enough. You get the drill. And so part of my journey has been, healing that and becoming aware of how those beliefs from my childhood kind of creep up into my life right now. And so one of the tools that I use in prayer are denials and affirmations. And Unity's big into affirmations. New Thought is all big into affirmations, and affirmations are great. But we tend to forget about denials. And I'm a big fan of denials. And, Unity's kind of gotten a bad rap about denials because what they say is, you guys are just denying that anything has happened. You guys live in Pollyanna foo-foo land. No, that's not what we're denying. And so we probably should change the name of them, but that's just how they've been taught for eons. So denials are statements that repudiate, denounce, release, let go of the power that we're giving something. Okay, so, we affirm, that we are divine and that, there's one presence, one power, active, there's only love. But when we are in fear and worry and anxiety, that is a way that we give form to the outer. Because we're giving it our power. Do you see? We're giving it our power through our worry and our concern. You see? Because we're not in those moments. And this is, please don't make yourself wrong. This is a human thing. We just do that because the outer circumstances feel very compelling and feel very real. And so in prayer, what we can do is we can deny the power that we're giving that circumstance, that worry, that fear, that appearance of lack in our checking account or whatever it is. Whatever we're experiencing in relationship with someone that's maybe not flowing the way we want it to. How we can approach that is before we make an affirmation like, all is well and I know that I am loved. That's true. But it's kind of like, Linda Martellowitz calls a denial a spiritual X-lax. For spiritual constipation. I don't know. I thought, let me find something else. So for me, a denial is a spiritual Alka-Seltzer. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. Oh, what a relief it is. Because I don't know about you, when I get really worried, I get really tense. And I can feel it in my physical body as like tummy tension, and you know what I know I'm not talking to the choir. I am talking to the choir. And so I call denials spiritual Alka-Seltzers. Because what they do and the language around denials are, I release the power I'm given to this circumstance. I let go of my worry and fear. It's really simple. I just let it go. I deny the power that I'm giving this circumstance to determine how I respond to it. And all of a sudden, from that statement, it's like, there's a relief. Because the constriction of fear and worry and anxiety, see, and it's like, the denial. And then after we use a denial, there's space, there's room to affirm what's true, see? So it feels like it's real. Because often people have said, well, I don't want to affirm, I am healthy, whole, and free when I feel really ill. It doesn't feel true to me. I get that. Well, let's try a denial first. I release my worry about my health. And I affirm that infinite wholeness is at work in my life right now, in every cell. You see? And affirmations they're not positive thinking. They go beyond positive thinking. They are statements of truth, capital T truth, because I affirm that what is true is our divine nature no matter what. What's true, folks, is what doesn't change. What doesn't change, regardless of whatever you are going through in your life, regardless of anything, your divine nature is. And you can call that forth into your awareness through the use of denials and affirmations. So affirmations go beyond positive thinking. They're not about possibilities. They're realization statements, declared in present time. So I am statements. I am infinite health. I am love. I am joy. Because what you are doing, regardless of whether you feel that way or not, you are affirming the truth of your nature. And that, if you allow those statements to permeate your thinking, Alka-Seltzer time. Relief. So let me give you an example. Around this time of year, I have heard so many people say, I always get seasonal allergies. Every year, every single year. Okay, I just want to invite us to work with that. Let's work with that. Is that the capital T truth? No. Okay. So let's use some denials. Okay. So I release the belief that every single year I get a seasonal allergy. I release the stronghold of that belief. I deny the power I'm giving that belief because I know that thoughts that I hold in my mind and I put feeling with are going to pretty much probably show up. So I deny the power I'm giving that thought. I release it, I let it go, and instead I affirm that I am infinite wholeness. And that infinite wholeness, as I affirm it in this moment, is informing every single cell of my body. My nose, my lungs. Yeah, I am infinite well-being. And I allow that truth to permeate my body right now, and my awareness, and my thoughts. You see? Now, does that feel more empowering, or I get seasonal allergies every single year? And folks, really, this is not about, denying, that sometimes we get ill. But what we're trying to do is we're creating a different environment for ourselves to go, this feels a little different. Maybe I don't have to show up like sneezing and wheezing. Yeah. So I wanted to share this tool with you called Denials and Affirmations, and to invite you to take it into your prayer time, because it is a form of prayer, and the prayer chaplains are using that. So when they sit across from you, they might support you in releasing the power that you're giving to a circumstance. And it's not to in any way invalidate your experience. They love you. They're just not buying in. They love you so much that all they see when they sit across from you is your infinite wholeness and your infinite life and your divine love. That's it. How beautiful to be seen in that way. How beautiful to be held in that way. So this week, I'm going to invite you just to look at this practice for yourself. Notice where you're giving your power to what's not true. And I know fess up. You're on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you're probably doing it. Yeah, or wherever in your life. Just notice and just practice. Just practice. You know what? I'm gonna release the stronghold that this story is having right now on my joy. I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna let go of feeling so worried when I read this particular article. And instead, I am going to affirm that the world is love and I am love and I express love and I hold every single person in my heart as infinite life and love and wisdom, and I see every world leader and I see every person in my life claiming their divine wisdom and love and expressing it. I see it, I hold it, I know it. And I tell you what, folks, when you affirm those words, there is a vibration that goes through every cell of your body. Because it's truth. It's capital T truth, folks. It is. It changes things. It changes you. And so you're going to go out and you're going to be on the road and be more gentle as you're driving, and then you're going to go into your workplace, and that boss that really just, you're going to be more loving. And it's going to catch on. There's a ripple effect, folks. When you know, it ripples out. We are the change. And this is a great tool for us to be the change in the world and to hold knowing. So I invite you to try it on this week. Are you game? All right. So let's affirm together. I deny what is not true and affirm my true identity. I know what I am, and my life experience reflects that knowing. And so it is.